Tuesday. Just got into my early morning run. First schoolboy error of this training session is when you wake up, remember to take your mouth guard out if you wear one. Like I unfortunately do. Usually do that automatically without even thinking about it every day. But I was so concentrating on stretching and getting out on time and getting back in time for work that I totally forgot, but I certainly remembered once I got about 5 minutes into that run. Yes, I'm sure there'll be many more. Doesn't matter how much you read about it and get ready. Nothing beats practice. So let's get ready for work. Right, over halfway through, well, midway through week 2, I guess. I'm just going to tick off Thursday. Easy, steady run for 30 minutes. I've done that just up in Preston Park and went round the sort of the velodrome there, really, I guess. Done one lap round Preston Park and then spent the rest of the half hour, just lapping around the cycling parkway. And it's nice just to have some regular, flat, guaranteed, except for the few embanked corners, place to run basically, because it means I can really work on my stance and just sort of overall balance and sort of the way my body's flowing and the shape of things really. And yeah, it's all feeling really good. Knees felt a bit achy after that. I wore my old running shoes, so maybe that's not a good idea. And just stick to the 2 new ones I got, or newish ones. But yeah, all going good. Looking forward to my rest day tomorrow, that's for sure. And then some long runs on the weekend. So right, just got in from my long run. Where are we? So I've just taken this down to have a good look at it this time. Long run, 70 minutes. At the end of training week 2, and nice early morning Sunday run actually the screen looks a bit early morning Sunday run, and cycled down to the pier, locked my bike up right outside the pier, and then ran over towards Ovingdean direction, and just had I've got this watch on my wrist for the time. I just went 35 minutes. 35 minutes that way. What's that? East, and then 35 minutes back, basically. So I got as far as Saltdean? I think so. So that was good, but it was good just to have a solid run on the flat with no stopping. That was a good thing. One thing I've learnt from training for the London Marathon last year is that I was doing some of these long runs and stuff, but I'd start here and I'd like run to the front and then sort of run for 20 minutes along the front and then run back. But in the running from here to the seafront, there's traffic lights, there's people, there's stuff going on, and you stop and start a lot. And I really on this plan, when it says long run, I want my long run to be as uninterrupted as possible, because that's the thing I really noticed. Obviously, on a main marathon, on the whole marathon, was actually just that relentless rhythm. Really, you can't. There's no sort of change, because you're just solidly running on the whole on the flat, aren't you? And that sort of repetitive motion just on everything basically really came into play in the later stages of the marathon. So I'm really conscious this early on to be making sure that my long runs, when it says long runs, even when they're not massively long, I mean this, last week it was 60, this week 70 minutes, that they are just consistent and bam, no interruptions. So at the end of week 2, feeling good. This continuous hills that I'm doing on Saturday, that is interesting. I can really see how that's beneficial. So I've found I'll go over to Withdean. I run just sort of a warm-up run over to Withdean Park, and then from there there's some really good steep hills, and I can zigzag to make them longer hills for doing the, it says continuous hills, 45 minutes. So it was a 45 minute just over run yesterday, but it's got to have 3 times 7 minutes effort. So that's 3 sessions of really running up the hill, like good solid effort for a duration of 7 minutes. And that's basic. I ran out of hill basically after 7 minutes. It's done. So next week, because it's going up to 10, I probably need to find somewhere where it's got a slower, less of a pitch, but the hill lasts longer. So, but they're all good, and I can see how beneficial they are. And going into next week, I think I'm going to be quite conscious of anything where I can do cross training. I'm going to make sure that is a bike ride. So this week I done that. I went for a relatively long bike ride. Doesn't seem that long to me, but I cycle every day. But went for a 30-minute bike ride that was in my head specifically for marathon training. It wasn't just cycling to work or cycling in town, and I made sure there was some hills and a bit of varied stuff on that. So yeah, I mean, the end of this week, all done, so I can give that a tick there. And how do I feel? Feel good. Feel very good. Yeah, feel very good. Just need to stick with it. So looking forward to next week. Just another point. The other really good thing about going from here and cycling down to the front is that's a really nice warm up. And also when I after the long run to cycle back, I could really feel it was a really nice way to warm down as well. So just really good on my knees, because after 70 minutes running solidly on the flat, I could start to feel some of my knees, just not used to that sort of continuous running. So cycling there and back was a really good way of sort of just warming down and loosely stretching all the ligaments and stuff. But it's very cold cycling, because you get blown by the wind a lot. I wasn't dressed so much for cycling, so my hands got cold. But yeah, really good, really nice sort of way to sort of bookend basically the actual main run. So cool.